So we've moved forward in time really fast. We are now at the end of the first month for John and Sarah, and I'm going to show you some things that we do at the end of each month to update all of these tabs. So keep in mind that John and Sarah are still in step 6, which is start saving. Their ultimate goal is that they are trying to get their a little bit of a savings buffer so that they have 1 month of expenses in their checking account. So until we accomplish that goal, we are staying here and we are not going to start really reconciling a ton. We are not going to start crushing our debt, a ton or anything like that. We're just trying to build that savings right now. So we fast forward to the very end of the year, and this is what the end of the month, the end of the month, and this is what the end of the month would look like. So a lot has happened in the last month. Two things I want to point out here. Number one, it is very important to take the recommendation. I would say it is much easier for you to have mobile banking or online banking so that you can look at all the money that goes in and all the money that goes out of your account. If you work with cash, you're going to have to keep receipts and you're going to have to type in your receipts and put them in. So, for example, if you took out $40 and you spent $29.87 on gas that day, you'd have to have that receipt on hand and write down the $29.87 that you used towards gas, but then also you'd have to be able to tell your spouse where that other $10 went. So again, it's much easier to go cashless system. If you like balancing a checkbook and all that, it's a little bit more complicated. It can be done, but I would recommend just go to a cashless online banking system, because all you do is you open up your banking account and once a week or twice a month at a minimum, you would look and see what was spent and you say, okay, $24 just because there was $52 on a round of golf. We went out to eat and it was $95.50 after the tip. And you just type in all those things that you see itemized on your online banking. So Sarah and John have been doing this for the month, and you'll see at the end of the month they did pretty well. So they went 79 cents over on all of their fixed bills and such in terms of their budget. I would venture a guess that if I were John and Sarah, we'd be looking at the $160 that we're spending on cable and seeing if we can cut that to make sure we stay under budget, but that's pretty good. We stayed $21 below budget for groceries, $4 for dining. We went a little bit over for just because. It might have been that, late night Taco Bell run at night or something like that. And we have plenty of room for gasoline. So overall, a pretty good month. Now, John and Sarah also put in all of their income. If you remember, from the projected income tab, this was a bonus month, January. Sarah received 3 paychecks because she got paid bi-weekly, and John received his 4. And you'll also see here that the $350 that they received at the end of the month on the side business wasn't quite what they had hoped, between $500-600, but that was what they brought in. So the monthly net, and this number, you want that to be green. If it's in brackets, it means it was negative. It means you spent more than what you budgeted. That's not something that you want to get in the habit of doing. But for the month, that means that they made $2,000, $2,100 more than what they expected. So on a typical month, Sarah might not get that third bonus check. You're still in the green by about $600. But for the sake of this example, at the end of January, this is what you would type in throughout the entire month, and then you end up with your net right here. So the next thing you would do is go to your reconcile tab, and now you just type in these yellow boxes here. So you just type in again what you have in your bank account. So 2658.67 would be 87 would be hopefully what you have in the checking account. So you would type in 25 or 2658.87. Today's date would be the 31st of the month. Your savings account, you haven't touched it, but it did maybe get a little bit of interest. There's not much in savings account, so it might have went up 12 cents. And you still haven't opened up 2 banking accounts, but that's okay as well. Now, one thing to be able to check your numbers is to see if this number, what you netted, is in fact the same or very close to this number that you netted here. Because at the beginning of the month to the end of the month, because everything is going in and out of your operating account, if this number is way off, you'll have to go back through and see if there's any typos or see if there's anything you missed. So you want this number to be pretty much the same, if not exactly the same, as this number that you see here. So we're looking at what our checking goal is. The goal is for us to get to $4,705. We're not quite there, but at the moment we're about halfway just in 1 month, which isn't bad. So we remain in step 6 and we just keep this account, and then when you open up a tab for the next month, your starting amount on February 1st would be these amounts right here. So that's all you do when you type in at the end of the month. Now with your income, we have what we projected expected take-home income after the first month. To type in what you actually brought home, you go back to your receipts, and we'll start with John. So John received 4 paychecks, and you can either use a calculator or you can just add up these 4 amounts here. He brought in $1,700 for the month. So we would type in $1,700 right here. Do the same thing with Sarah. Sarah had 3 paychecks, and the 3 of them is $4,725. So Sarah would type in 4,725. And the other amount, even though it was expected to be $500, was actually $350. So they brought in $6,775, which again, you can check if that number is exactly the same right here, just to make sure your numbers are right. So the difference for the month, and this is where again we build in all of these buffers, is that John and Sarah actually brought in $175 more than they thought. You'll see that some of these numbers start autofilling. So they were expected to bring in $6,600 for the month. They actually brought in $175 for the month. And right now for the year, they would actually be projected at making $65,000, but at their monthly rate as much as $81,000. So again, setting up those buffers really offer a lot of opportunities to make more money long term. And the final piece that you would have here, you would just now go through your budget. So you would type in all the numbers for January, and my apologies here. This would actually be January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November. We all make a few mistakes here and there. And December. So in January, you would type in what you spent for all of your categories. So under the receipts, you see it was $111.27, and you just type that in. Under insurance, you paid $1,500 for rent, your car payments, and again, you just cross-reference, were $525. Your student loans, you paid $400. Credit card was $100. And if you really want to make this easy, you can always just copy and paste, because it's good to have them all in the same order. You could copy those items right here, go to your budget, hit paste. It'll all autofill right here for you. The only reason why I kind of don't like doing that, you can see that it ended up changing the lines in my beautiful graph here. So because I'm a little bit neurotic, that is why I don't do that. But again, for the sake of it being done quicker, you can do it that way. Now your groceries, you would see you spent $378.04. So you type that in right here. Dining, $296.30. Just because, $359.04. And finally, 426.96 on gas. And that will round out your budget for that first month in January. So if you like to color coordinate it, make it green, anything like that, just to say that it's done, you are fine. You can cross-reference it with your what you had budgeted, so that would be below budget. You can see that all of these here, your heat 131, that was a little bit higher. So what I would tend to do is highlight this red, just showing you that you spent more than what you budgeted. And you just continue down the list. You can cross-reference everything here. Cable, as we knew, that would become a topic of conversation. You spent more than what was expected, and everything else ended up actually being pretty good, with the exception of only being $9 over on Just Because, but again, that's not going to be the end of the world. So you finished up for January, and your monthly total was $4,600, which is under the budget of $4,700, which again was what I would say would be a pretty good month.